I'm going to send letters. That's the end of the trade deal. I could send one to Japan. Dear Mr. Japan, here's the story. You're going to pay a 25% tariff on your cars.
America's most famous pen pal. Joining us now, Democratic Senator Tammy Baldwin of Wisconsin.
I'm sorry. That was
Mr.
That was the dumbest thing I've heard in a long time.
That's our president, y'all. Go
Dear
America.
Why not Dear Ms. Japan?
Well, talk about it. Well. That's another story. Let's start where Alicia left off, not the president, but the tariffs and whatnot. And now we are also learning about this 50% tariff potentially on Brazil. I guess my first point is he did promise 90 deals in 90 days. I don't even think we've gotten the 2 deals or the 1.5 because what we have are frameworks. Handshakes and with no pieces of paper. And then when it comes to Brazil, he is literally I don't understand the economic policy because Brazil, we get a lot from Brazil. I mean, everything from beans to our morning routines. Okay, the minerals that come from Brazil, they help power our cars, our energy, and yes, the morning. I know what I couldn't do without my coffee. How is this helpful to the American people? Because at the end of the day, Americans are going to be paying this tariff because the tariff is a tax, and either the American companies are going to pay it, the small businesses, or the American consumers. But another country is not paying that tax.
Yeah, well, as Alicia said, this is Trump's economy now. And he ran on lowering costs for people. That was the issue last year. And now every action he's taking appears to be raising costs for families, whether that's food at the grocery store. I talk to my farmers and my manufacturers and my small businesses every day, and they talk about the cost of the uncertainty and the chaos because of Trump's tariffs. It's a trade war, and they've been through a trade war with Donald Trump in his first presidency. They know what that was like. This is worse. My farmers get inputs from Canada and from other countries, and that brings the cost of production up, and their margins are razor thin to begin with. Some of the manufacturers I represent have facilities in multiple countries. Sometimes they can see multiple tariffs if components have to go back and forth and assembly happens in one place, et cetera. And consumers, our constituents, are going to see higher prices at the grocery store, at the gas pump, their energy bills, their housing bills, and because of the big ugly bill, and I hope we'll talk about that too, healthcare costs are going to go up dramatically. Many are going to lose their healthcare, but for the rest of us, when people lose healthcare and show up in emergency rooms, our costs go up if we have private insurance.
Senator, the amusing part aside, just as a side eye to the president on this, I don't know how I can help disabuse him of this idea, but a letter is not a deal. As a former corporate lawyer, I can tell you I sent out a lot of letters and I had a whole lot more deal work to do after I sent that letter out. And that goes to the heart of the problem we have here. You have an administration led by an individual who does not fundamentally understand how our economy works in the macro sense, how it's connected to other economies globally, and how in a particular way, as negotiated over many years with the advice and consent of the Senate and on many occasions, working with our economic partners like the European Union, like folks in Australia and Asia. How does the Senate, in your estimation, see itself repositioning in the face of an administration that is, through his letters, tearing up the economy in so many ways? Are there safeguards that, if you're looking at beyond the 26 elections, if the Senate turns in the Democrats' favor, for example, the House, for example, what are some of the roadblocks or efforts that can be made to help keep this economy on the wheels, on the lanes at least, that the Biden administration had put it on over the course of his 4 years?
Well, first of all, let's just, in the context of tariffs, there's a bipartisan appetite to rein in this president. They saw the chaos that his first round of across-the-board tariffs created in the stock market and for farmers and small businesses and manufacturers. And we had a vote on the floor where we repealed or we addressed the emergency declaration that underpinned the Canadian tariffs. We got to do a lot more of that. And in the context of the other things that have been going through Congress, we've got to give our Republican colleagues a little bit more courage to stand up to this man's policies, but also his tendencies towards acting unilaterally without worrying about the advice and consent of Congress. I also want to just say, from my own perspective, I'm not against tariffs. I think that the targeted use of tariffs to go after trade cheats,
tools.
Absolutely. Yeah. And they have to be one of many tools in a trade toolbox.
Right.
Oh, you mean a strategy?
A strategy. Absolutely. And we've got to get away from this race to the bottom and have a worker-centric trade policy in this country.